Hello, my name is Matthew, and last week I had a coworker who retired, and I work at a lumber yard, and it's a strange place. It's a sprawling property, and we have different departments that work almost as if they are mini companies, and we have a custom woodworking mill, we have a steel department, a truss department, um, and the person that was retiring was a master carpenter, and he is amazing. He would just build these beautiful things, custom cabinets, custom bookshelves, um, fabulous custom made doors out of exotic woods with ornate details. And we have an impressive crew of carpenters in our mill, and he's by far and away the best, which says a lot about all of them. And I've worked with this guy for years, but he's in his department and I'm in my department. I don't go into the mill very often, maybe once or twice a month, something like that. And he's so pleasant. Every time I see him, he's got all his tools out and he's working on some impressive thing, like a bookshelf or a door, and he's cheerful. He's like an elf. And this past week was his retirement, and they were having a retirement party for him. And it was in the mill. And so, with all these kind of different departments, you're in your own little world. And I just made a judgment call and decided that I was not going to attend the retirement party. We've never had any real conversations. We never actually worked together. Um, so they were going to have food and a nice send off for this man. And that afternoon, after the retirement party, which was a lunch affair, he came to my office to say goodbye. And it sort of floored me. It was such a nice gesture. He came in and made a point to say it's been really nice working with you these years. And it just stuck with me. It made me think about how I perceive some of the people that I work with that I don't work with very closely. Because at the end of the day, we're still coworkers. And he had worked there for 38 years, which I think is just amazing. A few stories about him. Uh, we have a lot of feral cats on the property, and years ago, while I was working there, in the mornings, this carpenter who's retiring, he would feed the cats in the morning. Outside, there's a little porch, and he would sit down, and the cats would come. And at a certain point, we had over 30 cats. It could have been 50. There were a lot of cats, and each morning you would just see this horde of cats. It got so bad that the company had to bring in animal services. And it might not be what you think. They collected all of the cats. They marked their ears somehow. They neutered and spayed them all, brought them all back, and released them back on the property. And meanwhile, they converted one of the rooms in the carpentry mill into a cat house. And so the cats are now in the mill. They have their own space where the company provides food. They have clean water, of course. They have toys. And whenever you walk into the mill, it's been years now, it'll be dotted with cats at different positions supervising, just sitting or laying down, watching all of these people work. It's amazing. And all the cats love the the Carpenter especially. Now, 38 years at a place is astounding, I think, but it's not nearly the longest tenured employee that we've had at the lumberyard. We had a woman who's retired now. She's dead now, but she had worked at the lumberyard, worked there for over 70 years. She retired in her 90s. It was her first job, decades ago, whatever year that was, 70 years ago. And she had the same job. She had the same desk and the same chair for 70 years. The chair was one of those old-fashioned metal chairs that had that distinctive mint green metallic color. There were no armrests. The seat and the back were upholstered with vinyl. This chair, on her insistence, because she would not use another chair, had to be reupholstered periodically. So she had the same chair for 70 years that had to be reupholstered to keep up with her. And I think it was, I'm telling you some of my favorite stories about this woman. I think it was on her 50th anniversary of working there. It might have been her 40th, but 50th or 40th anniversary, the company decided to treat her. And she didn't have too many extravagances, but she loved going to the theater. She loved musicals. And so they said that they would treat her to a night at the theater. And there was sort of an assumption that this was going to be the local theater. And this woman kind of showed how crafty she could be, because she pulled a fast one. She requested a Broadway show in New York City. And the company obliged. They got her a limo, took her to the train station. They paid for a night out at a hotel room, paid for the Broadway show. To kind of wrap the whole, for the sake of the story that I'm telling, I'll say it was Cats. And yeah, just amazing. And the last thing I'll say about the 90-some-year-old woman who retired after 70 years is on the floor in which she worked, there were other women there, men and women, who were already in their 60s. These are kind of older women that had also been working there for years. They've all been working there together. But people in their 60s, and then one woman in her 90s. And for the other women, the 90-year-old would call them damn kids. So when all the gossiping is going on, and office drama and inter-office shenanigans, she would kind of sit there doing the same job she's been doing for decades and mutter to herself, because these damn kids, referring to the 60-year-olds. She also wasn't really a nice woman, but amazing. So I thought I would tell you some retirement stories and a little bit of my place of work. If you watched this far, I hope maybe it was enjoyable, and leave a comment if you would like, and thank you for watching.